I think the barriers are on so many fronts. You have the cultural, social, barriers. You have the legal barriers. You have the, political and economic barriers to that. And there has a bit of a movement towards remedying some of these issues. And I'll give you some examples of that. So maybe I'll tackle the entrepreneurship side of women particularly at that point. And it's women entrepreneurs are facing more problems than men entrepreneurs are in the region. I'll give you an example of resolving a conflict in Egypt with a woman in terms of setting up her own business takes 84 days. With men, it takes around 50 days. So things like that. You have less mentorship on the women front. You get loans from microfinance, which are smaller in size than men get it. So you still have the system has not adjusted very well for women entrepreneurs in one sense. The other are obviously cultural barriers where women, for instance, cannot move geographically from, I'll give you the example of the UAE where women in Al Ain find it very hard to move to Abu Dhabi, the center of the economic activity. So as such, you need to create jobs in Al Ain for them to be able to work, just because your parents don't allow them to move, as much. You have legal barriers such as, paternal leave and maternity leave for women is around 2 months in the UAE, much less than any other country you look at. You don't have flexi time that Saad has talked about. Look at the Nordics, have the best example of actual flexi time where women can actually even work from homes. So a lot of these adjustments have not happened yet. You still see some of it happening, but not as much as you'd hope. Women are generally much more educated, in fact, than men, and I can talk about the GCC in general, but it requires an entire system kind of adjustment, and I'd have to reiterate that the women issues are global issues. You have a 3 million kind of issue around the globe. It's not just the Middle East. Added to the Middle East, I think, is a bit of those cultural barriers that make it hard, and it will take some time for adjustment to happen. Having said that, and being a woman, and I often say that from women from the Middle East, often asked why, has it been hard for you to reach where you are? And I always answer that gender has never been something that I identify myself with. I've worked really hard for where I was, and I got all the opportunities I wanted. So it is a place where opportunities can happen. It just needs some time and adjustment, I guess.